We're Ashley and Jordan. In May of 2019, we quit our jobs and left home to travel the world full-time. Our goal is to see as much of the world as possible through delicious food, breathtaking nature, and the different people and cultures that call this planet home. Feel free to subscribe and follow along as we keep going places. And if you're just now joining us, yesterday we wrapped up our time in Estonia and are on our way to our 19th country of Poland. I just got my sprint in for the day. They switched the plane on our last flight from, where did we even come from? From Tallinn.
Warsaw. Alright.
Tallinn to Warsaw. They changed it so it was slow.
Is it Krakow though? Yes.
So anyway, we had like 2 minutes. Literally, we landed and the next one was leaving in like 2 minutes. They held the plane.
We're a little out of breath because we had to run. But we're gonna make it.
Good morning from Krakow, Poland. We have made it to our next country, Poland. We're here staying in the city of Krakow, actually staying in the heart of the Jewish quarter, the Kazimierz. So we're doing a bit of a DIY walking tour today. We have 2 full days staying here in Krakow, but tomorrow is going to be completely taken up with visiting Auschwitz. So anyway, today is going to be the city in a day. We're starting our sort of walking tour with not the most beautiful destination, but it's all got some history and we're going to keep walking and show you more. This is Plaknawi, the new square here in the Jewish quarter. Not nearly the splendor of the main square over in Old Town, which we'll see later, but it's a cool spot to start. Our host for our Airbnb mentioned that this round building in the middle is famous for its hot sandwiches, which are supposed to be really good, so that's a little tip for you. But anyway, it's time to get going on our walking tour and see Krakow. Okay, so the neighborhood of Kazimierz, known as the Jewish Quarter, is known as that, probably for obvious reasons. For about 500 years before the war, Jews lived and worked and built beautiful communities here in this neighborhood. And if you want to learn more about that, just behind me and literally across the street from Plaknawi is the Judaika Foundation, which is sort of a Jewish cultural center. And they have all sorts of stuff that you can check out and learn a lot more about that time and their lives here.
Okay, so we've made it here to the Jewish Community Center, and as you can see, I'm hiding out because it's starting to rain, so we're under the umbrellas that are here next to the Community Center. This Jewish Community Center was opened in 2008 by the Prince of Wales, and today it is the headquarters for the surviving and thriving Jewish community here in Kazimierz. On my right as well is one of the synagogues, the Temple Synagogue, which was opened in the late 1800s. And under Nazi occupation here, they actually took control of the synagogue and they used it as warehouses and stables. But then within like a decade after World War II, it actually returned to normal services. But after that, like in the 1960s, it no longer holds any religious services. It serves as an area for concerts and other religious events that happen here today. We've made it here to the Rimu Synagogue, and this synagogue is the smallest but most active synagogue in Krakow, and it was built in the 1500s. Also, next to this synagogue is what's known as the Old Jewish Cemetery, which was in active use until the late 1800s or so. And during World War II, the Nazis actually kind of demolished or devastated this cemetery, and only about 12 or so headstones remained standing. And so after World War II, in an effort to clean up and preserve what was remaining of the Old Jewish Cemetery, they lined as best they could the old headstones. So if you look back there behind the wall, you'll just see stacks and stacks and rows of old Jewish headstones. Also, they took some of the remnants of those headstones and used them to create a wall next to the synagogue that goes kind of around the front of it.
We are now in front of the old synagogue. It was built in the very late 15th century and is the oldest remaining example of Jewish religious architecture in all of Poland. Today they have a pretty excellent exhibit and museum. The entrance is just behind me with lots of cool artifacts, and the explanations, which are in Polish and in English, are supposed to be a really great primer for the area to sort of learn about the history here and the people. So, really cool.
Don't blow away. Alright, we're done exploring the neighborhood of Kazimierz, and we were just on Josepha Street, which is actually the street that we're staying on. It's a street that has a ton of little art shops, glass shops, cafes, coffee and espresso bars. Now we're making our way over to the Podgorze neighborhood. We just left the Kazimierz neighborhood and we walked along this really cool footbridge that connects Kazimierz to the neighborhood to the south, which is the Podgorze neighborhood. Now this is the neighborhood where the Nazis set up the Jewish ghetto during World War II. Okay, so we've made it to what's known as the Jewish Heroes Memorial, and you'll see in this whole square there are just a bunch of empty chairs made out of metal and wood, and I'm not sure quite what it means, but I think it has something to do with the empty seats or empty spaces that the Jewish people left behind in the ghetto when they were here after World War II. And it also happens that this memorial, this square, was the center of the Jewish ghetto during World War II.
This is the last stop in this neighborhood, and this is a fragment of the wall of the Jewish ghetto that was used from 1941 to 43. There's a plaque on it, and it is in Hebrew and Polish, and I'm going to read you what it says. Here they lived, suffered, and died at the hands of the German torturers. From here they began their final journey to the death camps. Hey guys, so we are back at the apartment. Reason being, well, several reasons really. The weather was insane out there. We could barely get around. The wind was crazy. Two, we're a little tired and we have a very early morning tomorrow. And so here's the plan. We have, like I said, super early morning to go out to Auschwitz tomorrow, which we are not filming at all. Out of respect for the whole experience. We're not bringing the camera and we're just gonna go take it in. Will likely be a very heavy, very emotional morning, but the plan is to come back from that, take a beat to decompress, and then hit Old Town tomorrow afternoon / early evening, and then wrap up our time in Krakow. So that's the plan. Hope you don't mind. And that being said, we'll see y'all tomorrow afternoon. we're back. We are back at it for an evening walk around Old Town, just like we promised. Honestly, thank you guys, because I'm not sure we'd be out here this evening after our Auschwitz visit had we not told y'all that we would be. So, thanks for holding us accountable. We are starting our evening walk outside the Florianska Gate, which is just behind me, and it was erected in 1307, and it's all that remains of the wall that used to circle basically Old Town Krakow, the medieval city of it. It survived war and all kinds of stuff, and a cool little fact is apparently the gate behind me and then the structure just behind you guys used to be connected by a drawbridge, and all of this was a moat. That's kind of cool, right? I really can totally picture it. So we are gonna enter through the gate and go south and just explore Old Town. Come on. We are in the main square of Old Town, you guys, and I'm impressed. I don't know what I was expecting, but this was not it. It is, number one, huge. Number two, really beautiful, really nice, pretty clean. Anyway, I'm very, very impressed. Just behind me is the famous church of Krakow, St. Mary's Basilica. It's gorgeous. There's a tower that you can go up to the top of. There's just buildings all around this place. Y'all have to come here, spend some time. I don't even have anything else to say. I'm very impressed by this. Let's look around it.
I am super impressed. Plus, it is a beautiful night right now. The weather is perfect. I seem to have caught like a second wind. Maybe the coffee helped, I don't know. But now we're gonna head out from the square and we're gonna go to the main castle here in the Old Town. What?
There is an adorable market in there. It's right in the main square. If you walk to the big tall tower, you won't miss it. It's so cute and charming and fun. Do it. Our evening walk through Old Town has sort of come to a completion here at Wałwell Castle, which is just behind me. From what I've read, this site, so the castle sits on Wałwell Hill, and this site has been sort of a place of prominence for the country since all the way maybe 1000 AD or before. It's been church, it's been castle, now it's sort of both sort of a Buckingham Palace and Westminster Abbey all in one. Probably more recently and most famously during World War II, it was sort of the headquarters for Hans Frank, the Nazi Governor General. So that's kind of interesting. It's had quite the history, but today it's sort of a symbol of Polish pride and independence and a beautiful place to walk around at night. So we had one more stop to finish out the evening. Vodka. Polish vodka. We are at the coolest bar. It's called Singer. It used to be an old Singer sewing machine factory, and now the tables are the old sewing machines. They have super helpful bartenders. We asked for a Polish vodka recommendation, and he recommended a bison grass vodka. So it's got like grass in it that they dress with cinnamon and ginger. So we're gonna try that, and then we have just a fun one that's raspberry. We're gonna give them a go. When in Poland. It's nice. It burns my nose. But it's good. It tastes like Christmas with all the cinnamon. You wanna try?
It smells so good. I hope it's as good as the gin shots that we had in Porto. We'll see. Strong. Really strong. I like the cinnamon. That's good. What's known as the Old Jewish Cemetery, which dates back to I'm trying to talk, but it's so windy. There's a lot of dust and at least just slapped me in the face. Footbridge, which connects the Kazimierz neighborhood to the neighborhood just to the south called... Why are you wearing my pants on your head?
Because I'm fashion.
What kind of fashion is that?
High fashion, you wouldn't understand.
Get out.
It's cozy.
They're clean, don't worry.
Hey guys, you're probably like, why are you in the apartment? No, I don't want to start like this. Alright, okay, you ready?